Today I'm going to show you how to make SpongeBob title cards on Photopea. Photopea is basically a free version of Photoshop you can use. It's free and you can use it on any device. Alright, so when you open Photopea, this is what it's going to look like right here. So what we need to do now is get a SpongeBob title card background. So you can find these pretty much anywhere on the internet, but there are some posted on the SpongeBob wiki. So you can go to spongebob.fandom.com and you're on the SpongeBob wiki. So we can click on an episode. Let's click Help Wanted, the first episode of the series. And we can go and find the background, which sometimes some episodes are posted. All we need to do is get the background in there. So let's make a new project. 1920 by 1080 is a recommended resolution for 16 by 9 title cards, but you can make them in 4K or any other resolution you want. There's also versions of it you can do in 4x3, which are the older style. You can mess around with this if you want. I recommend a transparent background, no artboards, and everything is good. Make a new project and press create. Now we get a blank thing here. So let's go ahead and do the first step, is the text. You should do this first when making your title cards. So what we need to do is grab fonts. You can also make your own stuff too. So the font used in the show is called SpongeBob TT1. You can Google it and you'll probably find it on the internet somewhere. Go ahead and drag and drop this or upload or press upload. If you don't have a computer, press file and press open and you can open the font. So what you need to do is open and get the font in there. And allow it so it can be used for other times. Now we have the font loaded. So let's first of all get an idea of what we're going to make. For this instance, I'll make a title card called SquidBob. I don't know, that's what I thought. What you need to do now is press the text box, which is a little T right here, and then click the font you want to use. So we're going to find SpongeBob TT1 here, and then we're going to just click on it. And then we'll type a letter. So in this case, it'll be an S. So just type in one letter. If you want the text to be like kind of out of the way and crazy, if you don't like that, you can just type the entire thing down, but you don't need to. If you wanted to make it look like a real episode, then don't do that. So what you need to do is turn on transform controls. This will make the text stretchy. And make sure to turn this off too, so it can make it go crazy with it. So you have one of your letters done. Cool. Now what you can do is get all the letters you want. What you need to do next is, when you have your first letter done, repeat it again. Put your next one. So put a Q for on SquidBob. And you can now go crazy with it. And it kind of go like that. And then repeat this for each letter of the text. I know it's tedious, but you'll go by faster if you do it better. And there we go, the text is complete. This is just for the normal font though. I will do how to do angular text later. So next step, what we need to do is we gotta make sure all of these. Once you're happy with your text and you like what it looks like, you're gonna select all of them right here. What we're gonna do next is rasterize these objects. So it makes them actual layers instead of text. They're no longer text layers. So what we need to do now is we can select all of them now and move them to the center to make it look better. You don't have to center it if you want. Next step, once you're done with your text, you're like saying, okay, I like how this looks. We're gonna press merge layers, and now it's one layer of the entire thing. So now the text is technically complete. The next step is the background. So backgrounds, you can find a bunch of custom backgrounds by Bojebuck, which I have a link down in the description, or you can make your own custom backgrounds. So I recommend grabbing more than one background. I have a little folder on my computer that has backgrounds from the show. It's not a lot yet. I don't really care enough about working on it. Here's some right here. So let's put this one here. This is a pineapple background used in Naughty Nautical Neighbors. In fact, once you have your layer in there, you can get rid of the background. You don't need that layer anymore. It's gone. So if the background isn't 16 by 9, just stretch it. And now here's the fun part of making custom backgrounds. What you need to do now is grab another one. So I'm going to grab this one right here. Actually, I'm going to do this one. Because I recommend if you're blending backgrounds together, just try to use one that has a lot of stuff going on. And the other one, it's a little less like that. So we're dragging the other one. Takes a bit of time, but there it is. you see the layer is not on the top, so we'll drag that to the top, and then we can drag it to stretch it to the thing. Right click on it like this, and then we're going to actually that's not how you do it. What we need to do now is click this. So it says normal right now. We can choose any of these to choose from. So when you do that, like let's say we'll do hard light, and it now does this. And we can do screen, we can do if difference, we can do whatever we want to make it. If you like, let's say I like this hue, then you can keep that. If you don't like it, then change it to another one. But we're still not done yet. I mean, if you like the black text, then yeah, keep it. That's your thing. Next up, what we're going to do now is I'm going to make the text a little bigger so I can kind of see it better. What we'll do now is make the text have color. So all we need to do now is select a layer. Next up, we have to do the text layer. So we'll click on any of these because we can do all of them at once. We'll click on color overlay. So what this adds is a color to the thing. So right now it's black, but we can make it red. We can make it blue, any color, really. Let's try to find the color you like that matches it. So don't do colors that don't make the text seen. So for example, this, you can barely see the text. But if you kind of make it good, like this, the color may match, but just make sure the color stands out. So then we can press OK and we have our color. And now we can do other things too, like an inner glow, which has a glow inside the text. So what you can do here is you can mess around with everything, make it, do whatever you want. I can't really explain how to do this, but you can change the color of the inner noise, make it yellow if you want to. I think we can go back to the overlay, right? Ooh, like that. That looks nice. And then we're going to go to the most important, most iconic part of the title cards is a shadow. So the best part of doing a shadow is make it normal, make the opacity a full, and make the size at 0, and there's your shadow, or you can do whatever you want. As you can see, the text isn't really that noticeable, so I'm going to add an outer glow to it, so you can kind of bring out the outer colors to it. So I'm going to do that, make it bigger, make it white. And then, yeah, I think I like this. Okay, next step, if you like your title card, but you want it to look better, then you can add a texture to it. So if you want to find a texture, just Google texture. You can find official ones by the SpongeBob crew. So in this case, I'm going to choose this paper one right here. And then just click on and download it like this. And then we can grab it here from our downloads and drag it into the text. Make sure this layer is above the text layer. I'm going to stretch it to match the text like this. I'm going to do another blending mode too. If you don't, this step isn't required to do, but next step, what you need to do now is click layer and click clipping mask. Okay, so what you need to do is for this to work, you're going to have to turn off the color overlay and everything else about it. You can also turn it back on, but make this a little dark if you want the texture to be seen. And that is how you make a title card in Photopea. I know this one's not great, but I kind of rushed this video. But if you don't like it, then still mess with the settings and see what you can do to make it what you want. Obviously. And there's also a little cheat sheet. Basically, we can do is you can do another new fill layer and do adjustment layer, actually. And do hue and saturation. You can do this for all of it or just some part of it. And what we can do is make it different colors. Make the saturation higher, make it lower, make the hue, the lightness. Don't worry about the lightness though. It kind of messes with it up beyond repair. And we can, and yeah, and that's pretty much it. So the next thing is you're probably asking, how can I make that angular text from the show? Glad you asked. So I'm going to get rid of all of this for now. I'll make these layers go bye-bye. Also, to export your tile card, just press save, export as a PNG. Don't use JPEG. JPEGs are bad. What we're going to do now is make angular text. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do the text like usual, but this time it's angular. If you like the font as is, you can skip what I'm going to be doing. But if you want to do it like the show does, and you want to have each letter be different. Alright, so we have a letter here, which is an S. So what we're going to do now is we're going to click this tool right here. It's called the pen tool. So what we're going to do now is we're going to change this into a shape. So make sure that happens. You can turn off the stroke and you can keep the fill on. So what we're going to do now is we're not going to copy each part of the letter exactly. We're going to make it a little different. Just Just make it similar enough to actually look like the S. So I'm going to kind of go a little different for this letter. Make it even kind of mess around with it a bit more. Even make this a little different. If you run into this problem, just don't worry about it. You can go back or press Control C or something, or undo it so you can see the other thing, and we can just go mess with it, I guess. Also, you can use, to do this, you don't have to use this font specifically. You can also use actual title cards from the show. So, for example, Help Wanted has some Angular text in it. If you want to make something similar to that, just drag the title card into Photopea and trace over the letters. You can do it exactly if you want to replicate a different title card style, or you just want to make your own custom letters. And that's how you do it. But for letters like a letter E, I'm actually going to download the Help Wanted title card to do this. Letters that have holes in them, like A, E, and, and etc. What we're going to do is download this. Just download any title card from the show and help you. Or you can use the SpongeBob Angular font, which I did here, to make a letter. See, it looks different, but it's still an S. So I'm going to drag over the title card. You can remove it once you're done with it. So, to make an E, to make a letter like E or P or A with holes in them, basically, what we're going to do is we're going to make the letter. So we'll first make the normal part of the letter. I recommend going in the middle first. So we'll make this part of the E. And if you want to replicate to make, let's say you want to make a German dub of the same title card, for example, Help Wanted in German, then that is what you can do, is trace over the text exactly. But if you have custom letters, you can do that too. So then we're going to make the letter. So there we go. There's our E. But now we're going to move it out of the way for now. And we're going to make the other part of the letter, which is the whole part. So we're only having two parts of this letter here. So we're going to do the same thing over again. And then what we're going to do is we'll drag it roughly to where it is on the actual letter. So we can actually look at this to help me. And what's right about here? And now what we're going to do now is something cool. We're going to do layer. Before you do that, make sure this layer, the part of the layer that you want to exclude into each other, is on top of this one. So what we're going to do is do that again. So what we're going to do is click layer, combine shapes, exclude. And there you go. The letter has the hole in it.